Hello, Floss Tube. It's been a hot minute, like a month, because yeah, life happens. So, welcome. I'm Shari. Been floss tubing off and on for, I don't know, 8 years. It's been a while. Stopped for a while the kids were in high school and getting them into college was some super busy times. And work is a little crazy. Work's always crazy. But have restarted last year, I guess, or yeah, last year, and trying to do, every weekly or every other week or monthly, but sometimes I get off track. So if you're coming back, thank you for joining me. If you're new, welcome. Hopefully you'll find something interesting. Um, don't mind my boxes over there. We're slowly moving stuff to San Antonio. But yeah, so here we go. So a little bit of a life update before we get going into all the stitching and why I've been gone for a month. So yes, life got a little crazy. Let's see, I'm trying to remember. So I think my last video was, I don't know, somewhere around May 16th, 17th. I don't remember exactly when. But since then, I have went to Chicago and did some training up there. Let me look back at the calendar. Let's see where I was. So let's see if I did my last video on May 17th. Yeah, the week of the 20th. Yep, that was just a busy work week. Nothing crazy going on there. Had a whole bunch of appointments that weekend. Had to get my hair done, had the eye appointment, had to get a new Nook because my Nook is so old that you can't download stuff to it anymore. So there's that. Oh, and I had to get my driver's license renewed because of the whole real ID thing. You got to have your passport or your birth certificate and all. Yeah, it's crazy. So that stuff took some time. Anyway, the following week, which was Memorial Day week, I had to go to Chicago for some training and set up there, which was fun. Very little stitching got done that week, but we were in the West Loop area. My sister, since she lives in St. Louis, and so close and very inexpensive, flew up and spent, let's see, I was, oh my God, was supposed to get there Tuesday. Let's see. Okay, so trip from hell. Springtime in Dallas, DFW sucks. I swear, if there's a thunderstorm, lightning bolt within 70 square miles of it, they shut it down. So I was leaving that Tuesday morning to go, the day after Memorial Day. Didn't travel on the holiday, yay. But some people did and got stuck. Some people had been stuck at DFW since before I got there. Didn't leave here. I was supposed to leave here at 8 a.m. Supposed to get to Dallas by like 9:30 and then get to Chicago by like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Perfect, right? And then I could train the last half of the day and then have the rest of the week, leave half day on Friday, come back home, be home Friday night. Didn't happen. Yeah, I didn't leave Corpus until 2-ish in the afternoon. But this time I've been rescheduled on so many different connectors, it's not even funny. They can't even get me to Chicago. So I get there, they've got me on I finally get to Dallas, it's like 3 o'clock. They've got me on a flight that's supposed to leave for Chicago at like 6:30. So I'm over there at that flight, they cancel it. So I'm stuck. I'm stuck in Dallas until the next day. There are no other connections going out that I could get that even close. So I'm on the phone with them trying to get rebooked, and they can't get me to Chicago until like 8 o'clock the next night. So I would miss a day and a half of training. I'm like, that's not going to work. I got to get there. Was able to fly into Madison, Wisconsin, first thing the next morning. Got a car and drove the 2.5 hours to Chicago. And then so trained half a day Wednesday and then would be all day Thursday and Friday, leave on Saturday. Guess can't get all the way home on Friday night. Okay, that's fine. I can do that. And of course, my sister flew up on Wednesday and planned to stay with me the rest of the week and in the evening. So during the daytime, she just goofed off, did whatever. And then in the evenings, we went and did fun stuff, which was good. And if you follow my Instagram, you will have seen some of that fun stuff. Went to some good restaurants, went to Voodoo Donuts and the Chicago 360 big skyscraper, not the Willis Tower, but another one similar to it that they have the thing that drops you out. Well, it doesn't drop you, it lays you over on your belly. I did not do that. I'm not that trusting. uh, that was a little bit more than I needed to do. Flew home, well, attempted to fly home Saturday morning. Didn't end up getting out until because they canceled that flight. Decided to take DFW out of the equation and fly direct from Chicago to San Antonio, and then just have Kevin come pick me up in San Antonio. Well, Hannah obviously picked me up that night, and then I stayed the night at our condo, and then Kevin came to pick me up the next day. But we didn't. They canceled the 8:30 in the morning flight on Saturday morning, so I was supposed to get on the 8:30 in the evening flight. And then that got postponed until 9:30. I finally made it back to San Antonio after midnight. Kiddo came pick me up, got back to the condo, slept. Life was good. Kevin came and picked me up in our plane on Sunday, and flew back home. All good. Monday, regular work day, and went ahead and that was June 3rd. And then helped him with some stuff on our plane on Monday evening. And then Tuesday morning, disaster struck. I don't know if it was the combination of sleeping in crappy hotel beds or the crappy airport hotel bed, at the Minute Suites, which is basically hard as a rock. Regardless, something or help, bending over at the odd angle on Monday, helping him with stuff in the plane, or if it was just all of it together. But I have had the worst case of sciatica ever in my life. I've had it two other times. One was when I literally busted my ass water skiing and bruised the whole area. So it was really painful and swollen for a while. And I have this one little piece of hair in my ponytail. It just keeps peeking around the side. Weird. Anyway, that got over that with no problem. The other time was from sleeping on a crappy ass bed on a vacation, and we literally left early because the bed was so terrible at a timeshare. So since June 4th, I have had sciatica. To the point where I cannot even hardly walk 5 or 6 steps without the pain shooting down my legs so bad I cannot put weight on my foot. So June 6th was our anniversary, 32 years. And so that was fun. We didn't do much because I can't go anywhere. And then let's see, it got dramatically worse on the 12th of June. To the point where I was literally writhing in agony. I could not get the spasms to let go, to stop. And the pain in my leg was just horrendous. So finally went to the ER on the 14th. And of course, they were freaking out because I was so short of breath because of the pain. They thinking I had a freaking pulmonary embolus. I'm like, because I have a history of blood clots in my family. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure that's not it. Pretty sure it's not a DVD either. But they checked for all those things. And of course, it was not that. She's like, oh, yeah, yep, this is just really bad case of sciatic. I hear some muscle relaxants. I'd already done 2 rounds of steroids, which didn't seem to do much. And they put me on some gabapentin, which is for nerve pain. Been taking those 3 times a day since the 14th. It is now the 19th. I don't know that they're helping a whole lot. I think the muscle relaxants are helping more than anything because it seems like I can get, when it starts to cramp up, I can get it to relax faster. And of course, Toradol. Toradol is my favorite drug in the world. It works so good. So it's like, taking massive amounts of ibuprofen. So been on that, and hopefully, it seems to be getting better. I can walk 20 to 30 steps before it starts cramping up, and it lets off faster. So hoping I'm going to continue to baby it and not do any crazy stuff, and hopefully it will fix itself. I have a follow-up appointment with my regular doctor a week from today. The ER was like, you really need to have an MRI done. because I have, oh, my foot's numb. So let's pretend this is your foot. From the ball of my foot forward, totally numb. So yeah, they're recommending an MRI. Of course, my primary has to order it. So we'll go from there. But the crazy thing was, I bent over to put my shorts on. And when I stood up, that was when I was like, oh, shoot, that hurt. And that was what started it all. So I don't know. I mean, now I have a history of sacral torsion when I had Hannah because she was such a big baby. And so I'm thinking maybe that's it, but I don't know. So we'll see. Yeah, that's been pretty much it. Over the last weekend, of course, was Father's Day weekend. So had my son drive me down to my parents' house. I was basically laid flat out in the Bronco, with the heated seat on, and made it down there. And then Kevin came and picked me up in the plane on Sunday, and we had dinner and quick Father's Day dinner. And of course, during all of this, while I was flying to Chicago, my mom fell and broke her arm. So that's another whole story. She was carrying mulch and going back into the garage to get a scissors to cut the bag open, and that little lip at the top, like where the garage door comes down, she tripped over that and went flying and landed on the mulch, and it jerked her arm way up, and so she broke her humerus up here. And the ER told her that, oh, it's okay, it's not it's not displaced, it'll be, just put her in a sling and it'll heal. And that is true for someone who has a non-displaced humeral fracture. Well, she was in lots and lots and lots of pain. It was not getting any better, even regardless. So she went to a regular doctor, of course, follow up with your regular doctor. He did not trust the x-rays. He said that you're having an inordinate amount of pain for what they say is wrong. So he's like, I don't trust them. So they redid x-rays. And not only did they miss the fact that it was a comminuted fracture, little crunchy pieces in there, and like broken in 4 places, her shoulder was dislocated. So couldn't say good things about the ER down there. They saw the break and just basically quit looking. So she had to have, apparently the crunchy pieces were so bad that the orthopedist said you need a shoulder replacement. So now she has a lovely titanium shoulder ball, the rod that goes down into her humeral bone and is all wired together, and she's doing all right. Starts PT this week, and hopefully will have a full recovery without any issues. Yeah, so when it rains, it pours, right? I got to get me ready. I got to get everything done. I got to get all of the back working before Oshkosh, which we leave for Oshkosh on the Saturday the 13th, because we're going to spend a week up there ahead of time. We have a condo on, I'm not going to say it right. It's Misha something, the peninsula that goes up that's south of Green Bay. We have a condo up there for a timeshare that we're going to spend the week before Oshkosh up there working from there, because just to rule out weather so that we're that much closer in case weather stuff happens. Like we have that whole week to get up there if we need to. Or our plan is to leave on Saturday the 13th of July, but we have that whole week. The actual fly-in for Oshkosh is on the 19th, on Friday, for the Cessnas to Oshkosh. So fingers crossed, back is in shape and everything, weather goes well. But that's a life update for now. Kids, Hannah's working full-time at the camp for the summer, at Morgan's camp in San Antonio. And Cameron is, he's actually negotiating for still for an internship with, oh gosh, I forget the name of the company. Oh well, doesn't matter. So let's talk about stitching progress. I think these are, well, this one's definitely not in order. So my oldest whip, of course. And yes, I'm leaned way back in my chair so I can have my legs straight out in front of me to be in the most comfortable position possible. That is pretty much this is how I've been working. I can still see both computer screens. It works out pretty good. So oldest WIP is, of course, The Last Supper. This is supposed to mean about my what do you call it, 25/7 whatever, 25 minutes a day, 7 days a week. Yeah, right. I have not gotten anywhere near that amount of time on this because I've not been doing as much stitching. I have gotten some more of the back stitching done. I'm currently working on this guy's head, and it's slow progress because the back stitching instructions for this thing are terrible. That's all I'm going to say. They're terrible. You have different symbols and colors for different things, or it could be different symbols and colors for the same thing, just how many strands. Could have been done so much better. Anyway, there's that one. And I don't remember where this was in the process, but I think I've told you before, our little local group, our Coastal Bend Stitchers, we're doing a round robin, and this is the pattern we are working on. It's Sampler Be Mine by Happy Mood Point Cross Stitch Studio. And I worked on Laura's. This is her piece, and I did my section there at the top. And then we each put our initials in. I don't know if you can see that very good or not. But each put our initials in that middle section there. And I will need to exchange this for the next person's. And everybody's doing their own little colors and stuff, and it's fun. And it only takes like a day and a half, a day, depending on if you actually have a good amount of time. Whoop, that fell on the floor. I'll pick that up later. So I think the rest of these are in the order that I worked on them in. I think. I don't know. Since I last worked on stuff. This one, I think I said I couldn't remember who this bag was from. That's from Dark Side Bags because I found another one of their bags and it had the same where the little thing was. So this was The Siren, Well-Behaved Woman. It's from the Knotted Tree. And that is where I got to. Got a lot more of her tail done. Actually, I don't think I had any of her tail when I started, but I got, oops, that's upside down. That makes way more sense. So the crab and the little piece of the beach was done already, but I got a lot of her tail done, outlined, and started filling in the tail. And I am using some of the called for colors, but mostly substitutions with other flosses that I have. So like for the sand, I'm using an old strand by the sea. I don't make those anymore. And then a 6-strand sweets. I don't remember what that's in there for. And then 2 color and cottons, different colors, cauldron and eggplant for different stuff. And then the rest is DMC. Because it calls for Belsois silks. And I didn't have any of those, but it has DMC equivalents. And yeah, so that's where we're at on that one. Get back in there. And that one can go in that bucket. Next up was Queen Anne's Lace by Lavender and Lace. This is, of course, a Garan bag. Let's see, that's what the pattern looks like. And this is on, I don't remember what this is on. A big piece of fabric. I think it's like a slate gray. No, it's a bluish gray. But that is what I got done. Lots of dress. And that's about it for that one. Lots and lots of floss in here. It has its own bag. Put one over in that bucket. Next up, and again, I think these are in order. I'm not sure of the way I stitched on them. This one's the Haunting by the Drawn Thread. Another Garon bag. Love these. Lots of space. And these, this one is done with dinky dies. I think they're all dinky dies. I'm not sure if that's what it called for. Yes, dinky dies or gentle art. So I'm using the dinky dies because I was actually in a floss club for the dinky dies, so I have like most of those. That is the pattern. Drawn Thread, the Haunting. And this is what I got done. Is that upside down? That's upside down. That is what I got done. That's going to be really cute. Oh, like I got floss fuzz in my nose. This one, this bag again, I do not remember who made this bag. I got it at one of the, actually at the 6th Mirabilia retreat. I bought it from somebody who was selling them there. And I'm sorry, I do not recall who that was. But okay, make sure I got floss hanging on here. Okay, that's parked. Make sure nothing's going to fall out. That little guy right there is what the finished product will look like. And this is what I got done. And I think this is on Buttercup from Under the Sea Fabrics, if I remember correctly. So I got a lot filled in on this side. I mean, a lot filled in, a little coming in over here. So that was, I feel like I made some good progress on that one. Try to always fold it up slightly differently so you don't end up with the big old creases. And next up was, let's see what this one is. Broom Hop by Hinzite. Looks like that. And this one was supposed to have a charm in it. It says Charmed Broom Hop. And I don't know if it has fallen out and I have lost it because I bought this new, or if I used it on something else. I don't know. But it's a cute little pumpkin charm. And I think I have one of those somewhere else. So we'll see. It's not in the bag. Let's put it that way. But I got a lot of the witches done and the little cat that rides on the broom. So made some progress on that one. And this one, I believe, was a Momily bag from back in the day when Emily was making bags. Next up was, I believe this is Emerald Mermaid. Yep, Emerald Mermaid. Of course, by Mirabilia, Nora Corbett. And this was one of the first bags from Rika, House of Stitch and Stash, before she called it House of Stitch and Stash, way back in the day. Again, lots of floss in this one. I don't want it to fall out. This is a very old silk weaver, vintage silk weaver from like back in the early 2000s. You see it's got some lines in it from being folded for so long. But that is what I got done. I had just had a little bit of her arm done, and so I filled in a lot more arm and some hair and some body. Trying to change up where you fold it, right? And of course, I started this at that same 6th Mirabilia retreat and had Nora sign it for me. And then next up after that, and again, some of these have had some good progress, like that one was on the weekend. And I literally sat in the chair with my leg extended basically the whole weekend. And this is another dark side bag. So see, that's the thing that fell off the other one. Love these bags. Cute. They turn out really cute. So this one is hands-on design, Priscilla Blaine. What's the word I'm looking for? Working together. That's not the word I was looking for. But anyway, I'm doing the small winter piece first. And so I have subbed. What did I substitute? I think most of it's the called for, except for the green. I didn't have the green, so I substituted in a Threadworks for that. It called for pepperoncini, and I didn't have any of that at the point in time, although I could get some because I'm not to the green part yet. But I thought that looked pretty good, and I don't know that I was going to use that for anything else. But yeah, I think that's it. That's the only thing, because there's the rest of our week's dye works. That's the Turkish red, and then the huckleberry, and the capri, and then the chalk. Now it's funny, I have a bunch of chalk, and some of them are very, very different. The dye lots are extremely different colors. So gonna have to see if I can like one of them is really, really different. If I can finish something with that one. That's where I got to on this go round. This is funny. I have to tell you this. So I know exactly when I stitched on this. This was Thursday night and Friday night when I was really hurting. I got home from the ER Friday evening, and they gave me some IV Toradol and some IV muscle relaxant. And so I was a little goofy and sewing and doing this eye. Oh, it is all messed up. But yeah, it's a nightmare. Regardless, it's not attached to anything, so I'm just not counting from it to do the W. I'll count from the N because the N is good. So yeah, it's I'll just leave that there. That'll be my little memory for from now on. How don't stitch when you're on drugs. Yeah, that's a lesson learned. Do not stitch when you're on drugs. So that won't take too much longer to finish. It's got the head and a little more body over here and the big W, and then the swirls of the there's some snowflakes and stuff across the top, and then the little greenery at the bottom. That doesn't have too much more. And then I do have the piece of fabric ready to go for the big part. So yeah, definitely don't stitch while you're on drugs because it does not turn out. I looked at that the next day and I was like, oh my God, what was I doing? It was pretty bad. Oh, look at that. Well, never mind, you couldn't see it anyway. The floss was in the way. Get back in there. Okay. And then the last 2 days, which this is still literally coming straight off of my stitching chair side table, all the floss and stuff in there. Oh, and has anybody ever used these, the Splendor for the skin tones? I have not used them. The pattern, sorry, I should tell you what the pattern is Dance of the Roses by Lavender and Lace. Calls for the Splendor card for the bronze porcelains, SC1. I think, yeah, these are silk. 12 yards total, 2 yards of each color for the Splendor for her skin. So you look at the color selection there. These ones down here on the bottom. I have not, haven't gotten to her face yet, obviously, or her hand. I think hands and face is really all that it's used on. But yep, haven't used those yet, but they're in there. So well, that is where I got to last night. Still can't sit still for very long periods of time. I have to get up and change position and move and do some stretching and stuff. But the leg is, I'd like to think it's getting better, but I don't know. We'll see. It may just be that I'm really babying it, and when I try to get up and do real stuff, it's going to be right back where it was to begin with. So yeah, there's that. So let's talk about plans. Plans for this evening, the next 2 days, today and tomorrow, will be to stitch on, if I can get it over here. So next 2 days will be spent on Jardin Privé's Quicker to Halloween. And I am using a conversion by Under the Sea Fabrics, which is, and this is free at their, if you can get it from them. So I put what each color goes to. Just realized that moved and you might not be able to hear me as good. So the Weeks Dye Works Mulberry, I didn't have that exact one, so I picked a color in cotton. Weeks Dye Works Bullfrog for the green, and Rainbow Gallery Petite Silk Lame Braid. That's the glow in the dark one, the SP300. I didn't have any of that with me, and I might get it if I don't get to the white part. And then the Night Stalker Calling Rotten Pumpkins. Night Stalker Calling Rotten Pumpkins. Make sure I say that the right way. So where it looks like all of the floral motifs are done in the purple. And then anytime there's outlines, it's done in the 3 colors. Looks like in a purple, then the orange, then the green, and then the black. You see that, well, obviously you can see what's black. But so that's what I'm going to follow. Here are my color choices. There's my forest from Color and Cotton and Plum Violet for the purple. And then the Night Stalker Calling in Rotten Pumpkins. Love that. And then I just got some DMC white in there because I've got a big cone of it. But if I don't get to the white, I may get the glow in the dark stuff next time I go to the shop. So you ask, well, where am I? Because I've already got it ready to go. That is where I am. So since I had already gotten this started, Leslie had done the rooftops in the green. So I will not, my rooftop's supposed to be black because I don't want to go back and try to pick that out. But that's going to be the only difference between mine and the one that Leslie did because it looks pretty cool. So I thought I'd do that too. So that will be today and tomorrow's stitch. Hold 1 second. Spam call, not answering. Okay, I need to take that off the Q step and put it away somewhere. So that'll sit over there for right now. Make sure I don't lose the pattern and all the flaws, because that would be bad. Come on, go in there. Oh, why is things so difficult sometimes? All right, back over there, that. And then, so that'll be the 19th and 20th. Well, is it the 20th or 21st is the first day of summer? I don't remember. Anyway, as you recall, I am doing the seasonal time, summertime, springtime, autumn time, whatever, patterns by New York Dreamer. Oh, trying to sit up a little bit. So I will start that on the first day of summer. Got all my flosses in there, ready to roll, and just have to pick out a fabric. So that's where that one is. So I'll have to pick out a fabric today or tomorrow. So that can be ready to go on the first day of summer. Actually, summer starts tomorrow. So I'll stitch on Quicker to Halloween for today, start this tomorrow, and then go back to Quicker to Halloween for another day. And then back to whips. Next up after the Quaker to Halloween is Noah's Sampler by Alma Lynn. Another Grand bag. Looks like, so I collect Noah's Ark things, and I love this pattern. So it is really old. I mean, like super old, like hand drawn old. Let's see, does it have a time on? I mean, yeah, 1992. This is just being done on Ghana, and it has very little done. Just has, and you really can't even see that, can you? This was probably a Mania start. That's the ramp in the middle to the boat. Yeah, that's where that is. Very, very hard to see, but I'll get some time in on that for 2 days. Get that back in there. That needle minder with that elephant is very heavy. It wants to flop all over the place. And then for the 2 days after that, that's the So Much to Love bag. It was in there. So Much to Love thing for at least a year. And this one is Prairie Moon. Thine is the Trick and the Treat. And you can see it's being done on Anubis by Under the Sea Fabrics in a 32 count Joblin. And this is one of a few things that I actually started in the corner, which is so unusual for me. Is that a corner? That does not look like the corner. That is the bottom corner. Okay, I got it now. I started in the bottom corner over here. But that's what I had done. Obviously, that's just black. And that is showing up way brighter. This is much darker orange than it's showing up on the camera. Love that one. Oh, put it in the right pile. And then this should get me through to the next time that we should have a little bit of a phone call of a recording. Next one up. And this is a bag from Lucretia Crafts. Lucretia made that for me. I think she made one for all of us one year at our one of our local retreats. And this is it's 5 o'clock in Texas by Redbird Designs. And I think this was an exclusive pattern to 3 Stitches in Houston in spring. So if you were looking for that, that's where you would find that. I can't remember if I bought this as a kit, if it was already, it must have already been kitted up. Or I kitted it when I was at the store because stuff's in there. And that is what I got done when I started it. So change that fold a little bit there. Love Redbird patterns. Redbird Designs, excuse me. I wish she would distribute them through other, outlets like 1, 2, 3 Stitch. Since they're in Texas now, it's a Texas company. That's the bag that Dances with Roses goes in. Cute bee bag from Garon. Isn't that adorable? The bees have sparkles. So I'll put that in there when I get done. Okay, I think the only thing we have left is haul. So let's talk about haul or lack thereof. So I had to go get a new Nook, remember? Which is kind of cool though. They sent me a really good discount because my Nook was becoming obsolete. I had one of the little small, like paper white ones. Love that thing. Had it for years. I mean, probably more than 10 years. Definitely more than 10 years. Absolutely loved it. But obsolete, so they're gone. And I got one of the new Lenovo tablets. So while I was over there, though, I found this cross stitch with a sole. I know lots of people have done flip throughs for this, so I'm not going to. But I definitely love all of the Stitcherovia stuff. It's good stuff, Emma Congdon. So got that one, and then my latest bag from House of Stitch and Stash. So pretty, and she does such a fabulous job on putting these things together. They are so well made. Of course, I have a bunch of haul waiting for me up in San Antonio. I just have to find time to go up there and go by the store. But with this tropical storm, we're not flying anywhere for probably the next 10 days. So it's going to be a hot minute. Probably be before, probably will not get to it before I get to another video. So let's see. What else do I have to tell you? Oh, you know what? Book update. Book update for sure. I've been reading a lot since oh, that's all crooked. Been reading a lot since I have been injured and not moving as much. And a friend of my parents got me started on the Stephanie Plum series by Janet Ivanovich. I think that's how you say her last name. If it's not, sorry if I goofed it up. But oh my goodness, those books are freaking hilarious. I mean, they are it somewhat mystery, definitely comedy, a little bit you know, a little bit predictable at this point, but they're funny. And I mean, so, oh my gosh, some of them I literally am laughing so hard. I'm like shaking the bed, and Kevin's like, "Are you all right over there?" I'm like, "I'm just laughing at this book because I read before I go to bed every night." And I've got my sister started reading them. I'm on 17 or 18 now. I don't remember which one, but they're fast reads. I mean, some of them you can read, you know, in a day. You know, they're usually 200 page-ish range, and they are freaking hilarious. So if you're looking for a funny read with a little bit of a mystery in it, I definitely recommend Stephanie Plum series. Also reading the Jack Carr series. If any of you guys have watched The Terminal List on, I think it was on Prime, but the guy who writes them, Jack Carr, he has written several other novels that go in there. I'm trying to get to my Audible. I listen to those on Audible because I can listen to them during the day while I'm working. And well, crap, let me get back to the library. Library. And so let's see. There starts with The Terminal List is the first book, then True Believer, Savage Son, Devil's Hand, In the Blood, Only the Dead, and then Red Sky Morning. If I remember correctly, that is the newest one that I pre-ordered, and it just came out yesterday. So I will download that now. Yep, very happy to see that one come out. So that is the last book in the series, or the latest book in the series. It's called Red Sky Morning by Jack Carr. Looks like that. These are really, really good novels. He is a Navy SEAL, the gentleman who's writing them, Jack Carr. So really thoroughly enjoying them. In the interim, while I was waiting for the latest one to come out, I was listening to House at the End of the World by Dean Koontz, and that's pretty good too. I'm almost done with that. I'll finish that up before I start the Jack Carr one. I think I only have like 4 hours left, 3 hours and 50 minutes left. But yeah, that's I've been doing a lot of reading, a lot of listening. But those are my recommendations for the week. On if you're a Goodreads person, let me see if I can tell you how to find me on Goodreads. My profile. Why is it so slow? I'm just listed as Shari Burkett. So you should be able to find me pretty easily in there. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about, I read 41 books last year, and let's see, what have I got for the my 50 books this year was my challenge. So I'm 31 in on my 50 books. And as fast as I'm reading through these Stephanie Plum books, I will definitely meet my goal. So I think that's about it. I don't usually do book stuff, but since I've been reading so much, and if you can see right behind me, I've got the new Stephen King. I picked that up while I was over there getting my new Nook too. And then apparently there are some extra Stephanie Plum novels that are not in the numbered series. So I've got some of those over there. Like I said, my parents volunteer at their church thrift store, and they have a lot of books that come in, so they pick them up for me. You get hardbacks for 50 cents and like paperbacks for like a dime. It's best thing going, and then I just donate them back when I'm done with them. So it works out great. Anyway, that's that, and I will see you next time. Hopefully it will not be a month, and hopefully next time I will not have to be laid back in my chair like an invalid, because this is pitiful. So until then, happy stitching.